Welcome to our channel, friends, where we delve into the shadows and unearth the unsettling. Tonight we venture into the unsettling world of forgotten things, of hollow laughter echoing through deserted midways. We have three terrifying tales for you, stories about theme park mascots, once symbols of joy, now twisted into something far more sinister. Make sure to turn off the lights, sit back and prepare to be scared. The veil between reality and nightmare is thin tonight, and trust me, you don't want to be caught on the wrong side. Our first story takes us to the rusted gates of Joyland, a once vibrant amusement park now swallowed by weeds and decay. It was here, beneath the peeling paint of the funhouse of frights, that they found him. Dusty, cobweb-draped, his plastic eyes stared vacantly out from a pile of discarded props. This was Jolly, the park's mascot, a giant, grinning jester, frozen in a perpetual wave. For years, locals whispered tales of Jolly, whispers that painted him not as a whimsical entertainer, but as a vengeful entity forever tethered to the park he once ruled. The story goes that Jolly wasn't always a lifeless shell. No, he was once inhabited, brought to life by a young man named Daniel, a struggling college student who took the summer job for a little extra cash. Daniel, a natural entertainer, poured his heart into Jolly, delighting children and parents alike with his infectious laughter and playful antics. But the park, like all things, began to decay. The crowds dwindled, the laughter faded, and Joyland fell into disrepair. Then one sweltering summer night, as the last employees locked the gates, a storm rolled in, a storm of biblical proportions. The wind howled like a banshee, tearing through the park, ripping down rides and scattering debris like confetti, and then the screams began. They found Daniel the next morning, lifeless in the remnants of the funhouse, still trapped inside the Jolly costume. His eyes, wide with terror, stared out from the painted grin of the mascot's head, forever frozen in a silent scream. They say the storm that night was no act of nature. They say it was Jolly, angered by the neglect, lashing out at the world that had forgotten him. And now, legend has it, that Jolly still wanders the decaying grounds of Joyland, his hollow laughter echoing through the empty midways, his plastic eyes searching for those who dared to abandon him. Some dismiss it as folklore, a ghost story to scare children, but others, those who remember the screams that night, they know the truth. They say if you listen closely on a moonless night, when the wind whispers through the rusted Ferris wheel, you can still hear Jolly's laughter, a chilling reminder that some things are best left forgotten. Some smiles hide a darkness that runs deeper than any shadow. So the next time you pass by a forgotten amusement park, its gates chained shut, rides standing silent and still, remember Jolly. Remember that beneath the faded paint and dusty smiles, darkness lingers, and it's always listening. Our next tale takes us to the sun-drenched shores of California, to a bustling boardwalk amusement park called Paradise Pier. Here, amongst the cotton candy and carnival games, lurked a sinister secret, a secret hidden within the brightly colored fabric of a mascot costume. Sunny, a giant anthropomorphic sun with a wide, toothy grin, was the face of Paradise Pier, his image plastered on everything from souvenir cups to park maps. But behind Sunny's cheerful facade hid a chilling truth. The costume, it was said, was cursed, haunted by the tormented spirit of a former employee, driven to madness within its stifling depths. It began subtly with the performers who donned the Sunny costume reporting a strange unease, a feeling of being watched, of something cold and unseen brushing against their skin beneath the layers of foam and fabric. Then came the nightmares, vivid, terrifying visions of a dark figure, its eyes burning like hot coals, stalking them from the shadows. One young man, a college student named Mark, eager to earn some summer money, shrugged off the rumors as nothing more than superstitious nonsense. He had grown up hearing ghost stories, tales whispered around campfires designed to elicit shivers and screams. But the first time he pulled the Sunny head over his own, he felt it. A coldness, unnatural and penetrating, seeped into him, wrapping around him like an icy shroud. He tried to shake it off, attributing it to the stuffiness of the costume, the summer heat radiating off the asphalt. But deep down, a seed of unease had been planted. That night, the nightmares began. He found himself trapped in a labyrinth of distorted mirrors, Sunny's grinning face leering back at him from every reflective surface. The air grew thick with the scent of popcorn and cotton candy, but it was tainted, twisted into something cloying and rotten. He'd wake in a cold sweat, the feeling of unseen eyes boring into him, lingering long after the nightmare had ended. He tried to tell himself it was just stress, the long hours in the sweltering costume playing tricks on his mind, but the feeling wouldn't go away. It grew stronger, more insistent with each passing day. Then one afternoon, in the middle of a crowded parade, Mark, dressed as Sonny, froze. His body began to tremble, his breath catching in his throat. The cheerful music of the parade seemed to fade, replaced by a low, guttural growl that seemed to emanate from deep within his skull. He stumbled, the sunny head tilting at an unnatural angle, and then before the horrified eyes of onlookers, he simply vanished, gone without a trace. The crowd, initially thinking it a part of the performance, erupted in confused applause. But as the minutes ticked by and Sonny failed to reappear, a chilling silence descended. The police were called, a search was conducted, but Mark was never seen again. Some whispered that he had simply snapped under the pressure, wandered off in a fugue state, never to be found. But others, those who had felt the coldness within the costume, who had seen the fear in Mark's eyes in the days leading up to his disappearance, they knew the truth. Sonny had claimed another victim, dragging him down into the darkness that lurked beneath its cheerful facade. Our final story brings us to the heartland of America, to a small, family-owned amusement park called Happy Hills. For generations, Happy Hills had been a beacon of joy, a place where families could escape the mundane and embrace the simple thrills of roller coasters and cotton candy. But beneath the laughter and attractions, a darkness festered, manifesting in the park's beloved cat mascot, Captain Calico. Captain Calico, with his oversized head and infectious grin, had been a staple of Happy Hills since its inception. But what began as a symbol of childhood innocence soon morphed into something far more sinister. The change was gradual at first. Rides malfunctioned, lights flickered, and accidents plagued the park. Employees whispered about seeing Captain Calico moving on his own, his eyes glinting malevolently. One evening, a young ride operator named Sarah noticed something strange. Captain Calico was standing at the edge of the park, gazing out at the darkening woods. As Sarah approached, a chill ran down her spine. The air around the mascot crackled with unseen energy, and a low growl emanated from beneath the costume's head. Sarah called out, her voice trembling. The mascot didn't respond. It just stood there, unmoving, its gaze fixed on the encroaching darkness. Gathering her courage, Sarah reached out a hand to touch the mascot's shoulder. But before her fingers made contact, the mascot spun around, revealing a visage of pure malice. The eyes, usually wide and inviting, were now narrowed slits, burning with an infernal fire. The mouth, once frozen in a grin, was twisted into a grotesque snarl, revealing rows of jagged teeth. Sarah stumbled backward, her heart pounding. The mascot took a step towards her, the growl growing louder, shaking the ground. Terror lent speed to her feet, and Sarah turned and ran, the mascot's enraged roar echoing behind her. She didn't stop until she reached the park office, her lungs burning. She tried to explain what she had seen, but the words tumbled out in a jumbled mess. The park manager, a kind, older gentleman, listened patiently. He wanted to dismiss it as a prank, a figment of an overworked imagination, but deep down, he knew better. He had seen the changes in the park, felt the growing unease. That night, armed with a flashlight, the park manager ventured into the darkened park. He was never seen again. The next morning, the park gates remained locked, the ride silent and still. Happy Hills, once a place of joy, was now shrouded in fear and dread. Those who had seen the darkness beneath Captain Calico's cheerful facade knew the truth. Happy Hills had become a prison, its mascot a vessel for something ancient and malevolent. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed these terrifying tales, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more spine-chilling stories. What lurks beneath the surface is often far more terrifying than what we see in the light of day. Let us know in the comments which stories scared you the most. Until next time, stay safe and beware of the shadows. Remember, sometimes the things that bring us the most joy can also harbor the deepest darkness.